Imagine you're walking through a forest and suddenly you come face to face with a lion. What do? It's a terrifying thought, right? Well, for one young man living 6,000 years ago in what is now Bulgaria, this wasn't just a nightmare scenario, it was a brutal reality. And incredibly, he survived. Archaeologists have uncovered his skeletal remains, and they tell a story that's nothing short of astonishing. This discovery isn't just about a prehistoric animal attack. It's a window into the deep past, revealing not only the dangers people faced, but also the incredible resilience of the human body and the power of community care. The bones of this man, who lived during the Copper Age, show evidence of a violent struggle with a massive predator, likely a cave lion. These weren't the lions we see in Africa today. These were much larger, more formidable beasts that roamed ancient Europe. So, what exactly did the archaeologists find? They were excavating a settlement near the town of Nova Zagora in eastern Bulgaria, a site known for its rich Copper Age history. Among the various artifacts and structures, they unearthed a skeleton that immediately stood out. This wasn't a typical burial. The remains belonged to a man, estimated to be in his late 20s or early 30s, and his bones were covered in healed injury scars that painted a vivid picture of his near-fatal encounter. The most dramatic evidence was found on his right arm. There were deep puncture marks and fractures on his humerus, the long bone of the upper arm. The pattern of these marks strongly suggests the powerful jaws of a large carnivore clamping down. You can almost visualize the scene, the lion lunging, sinking its teeth into the man's arm as he likely tried to defend himself. The force must have been immense, enough to crush bone. But here's the amazing part. The bones had healed. They weren't just broken. They showed significant signs of regrowth and fusion, indicating that this man lived for a considerable time after the attack, possibly for months or even years. But the arm wasn't the only part of his body that bore the marks of the struggle. His ribs also showed signs of healed fractures, perhaps from the lion's claws or the sheer force of the attack. And his pelvis had injuries too, suggesting he was mauled from multiple angles. It's a testament to his strength and will to live that he managed to escape such a ferocious assault. The initial moments of the attack must have been agonizing, a chaotic blur of pain and terror. Yet, somehow, he got away. Now, surviving the attack was just the first hurdle. Think about the aftermath. This man would have been severely wounded, with deep, open gashes, broken bones, and excruciating pain. In a world without modern medicine, without antibiotics or sterile operating rooms, an injury like this was often a death sentence. Infection alone could have easily killed him. So how did he pull through? This is where the story gets even more incredible and shifts from a tale of survival to one of community and compassion. The fact that his bones healed so well tells us something profound. He wasn't alone. For his body to mend, he would have needed constant care. He would have been completely incapacitated, unable to hunt, farm, or even feed himself. Someone had to bring him food and water. Someone had to tend to his wounds, cleaning them and protecting them from infection. Someone had to help him move and manage his pain. This wasn't a one-person job. It likely took the effort of his entire community. This level of care challenges some of our older ideas about prehistoric societies being brutally individualistic, a survival of the fittest world where the weak were left behind. This discovery paints a much more humane picture. It shows us that 6,000 years ago, people looked after each other. They understood the value of every member of their group and were willing to invest significant time and resources to save one of their own. This man's survival is a direct result of social bonds and a shared sense of responsibility. It's a beautiful example of prehistoric empathy in action. The archaeologists studying the remains were able to piece together this narrative by carefully analyzing the bone trauma. They used advanced imaging techniques to look at the healing process. When a bone breaks, the body initiates a complex repair sequence. It forms a callus, a sort of natural cast made of new bone, around the fracture site. Over time, this callus remodels and strengthens. The state of the callus on the Bulgarian man's skeleton allowed researchers to estimate how long he lived after the injury. The advanced stage of healing suggests a long period of recovery. This also raises questions about the social structure of his community. Who were the caregivers? Was it his family? Or was there a designated healer or shaman in the village who possessed knowledge of medicinal plants and wound care? While we can't know for sure, the evidence points to a society that was organized and sophisticated enough to support a member through a long and difficult convalescence. It shows a level of social cohesion that is truly remarkable for the time period. Let's also take a moment to consider the lion. The presence of cave lions in this region during the Copper Age is well documented, but direct evidence of an attack on a human, especially one who survived, is exceptionally rare. This skeleton provides a unique, personal link to the megafauna that shared the landscape with our ancestors. It reminds us that for prehistoric people, the world was a much wilder and more dangerous place. Every trip outside the safety of the settlement was a risk. Predators were a constant threat, shaping their lives, their beliefs, and their settlement patterns. It's likely that this man's story became a legend within his community. Imagine the tales told around the fire about the man who fought a lion and lived. He would have been a living symbol of resilience, a reminder of the dangers that lurked in the wilderness and the strength of their people. His scars would have been a daily, visible testament to his ordeal and his incredible survival. He might have been seen as having a special status, perhaps blessed by the spirits or possessing extraordinary strength. This discovery from Bulgaria is so important because it adds a deeply human layer to our understanding of the past. Archaeology often deals with pottery shards, stone tools, and the foundations of buildings. These things tell us a lot about technology, diet, and economy. But a skeleton like this tells a personal story. It connects us to an individual who lived, loved, suffered, and was cared for thousands of years ago. It bridges the vast gap of time and reminds us that the fundamental aspects of human experience, pain, fear, survival, and compassion have been with us for a very, very long time. It has a powerful narrative that combines the thrill of a life-or-death struggle with the heartwarming evidence of human kindness. It's a story of one man's fight for his life, but it's also the story of a community that refused to let him go. This 6,000-year-old skeleton isn't just a collection of bones. It is a monument to the enduring strength of the human spirit and the timeless importance of looking out for one another. It is a find that will continue to teach us about the complex and compassionate lives of our ancient ancestors. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into our incredible human past. See you in the next video.